6 celebrities who overcame heroin addiction. 6. Robert Downey Jr. Robert's dad got him onto marijuana when he was 6 years old. The following 30 years were quite the journey. Robert got addicted to heroin. He came and went from the rehab. He was incarcerated for a while. Nevertheless, Downey succeeded in becoming well known. He was the heroin junkie in the film Less Than Zero. Later on, he acknowledged that the part seemed like an exaggerated version of who he was. Then he started to resemble that persona too much. But he hasn't used substances since 2003. Downey says he was able to break the habit because of his wife. 5. Steven Tyler. The Aerosmith singer was addicted for years. The band's guitarist Joe Perry and Tyler were called the Toxic Twins. The 1970s and 1980s saw an extreme case of it. Nevertheless, Aerosmith kept topping the Billboard charts. In 1988, Tyler hit his lowest point. He was the target of an intervention, it seemed. Rehab was supported by his loved ones for him. Tyler had many relapses. However, he has spent the last 13 years sober. According to Tyler, it's the only reason he's alive at 75 years old. 4. Demi Lovato. It was risky for Lovato to become famous as a children's TV personality. At 17, the actress started abusing cocaine. Lovato was hospitalized at the age of 25 after overdosing on heroin. After commemorating 6 years sober, something happened. Since then, Lovato has had significant life adjustments. Referring to her addiction, she says, "What I've learned is that this illness is not something that disappears or fades with time. It is something I must continue to overcome." 3. Corey Feldman. Feldman started his acting career at the age of 3. He played more than 50 parts in his early years. He started to get out of control when he was a teenager. Feldman and Carrie Fisher starred together in The Burbs. She made an effort to assist by reaching out. Feldman said, "Many years later, I didn't understand the darkness that was growing in me at the time, but she saw it. I had no idea what lay ahead. Carrie saw the agony in my eyes and knew what it was." In the 1990s, he was arrested several times for possessing heroin. He ultimately overcome his addiction through a long-term treatment program. 2. Eric Clapton. In the 1970s, Clapton struggled with addiction. He used to buy heroin for $16,000 a week at one time. Clapton reasoned that it was under control if he could afford it. It was then, however, too late. Clapton didn't opt for sobriety when he eventually stopped using heroin. He shifted to abusing booze and drugs. Finally, he entered treatment in 1982. Clapton lost his 4-year-old kid, but he never relapsed. Rather, he used his music as an outlet for his suffering. Tears in Heaven rose to prominence as one of his top singles. 1. Nicole Richie. Nicole was raised by Lionel Richie. Her parents were unable to support her financially. Nicole was raised in the public eye. Brenda Harvey was deeply hurt when Lionel ended their relationship. In an attempt to dull the anguish, she turned to heroin. The tabloid headlines soiled her name. That was even before to her starring in The Simple Life, a reality show, alongside Paris Hilton. Richie, thankfully, left drugs behind. She hasn't changed since her 2003 possession charges. Nicole says she uses her past as a teachable moment for her kids. "Everything is out there and I have no choice but to be honest with them. And you know what? That is very freeing to me."